Hi class, this is a video from Miss Tuan, and I'm making this video just to add a little bit of your knowledge about loops, so we're going to be talking about that here today. So here I have the basic structure of most of our assignments thus far, and I'm going to start out by just talking about why we want loops in the first place. So sometimes in computer science you want to do things over and over again. So say for example I tell you to print out hello once, right? And this is how you do it. System.out.print hello. There you go. And it's gonna print out hello once. Code evolve, please work. And it is loading. And it's gonna print out hello in just a minute. Oops. Oh, I named it incorrectly. Let me go ahead and fix that. So right now my class is called main, but I've named my file loops. So fixing that, I'm gonna change it to loops. This should hopefully work now. And hello, cool, awesome. So I print out hello once, and you're like, great, I'm done with my code. And then you go back and read the directions, and the direction says print hello 5 times, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to print this 5 times. So you go ahead and copy and paste, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna copy and paste this 5 times. This is a lot of work. This kind of sucks. And now I've copy and pasted it 5 times. It's gonna print hello 5 times, and then you run it to double check to make sure it works. And then prints hello 5 times, and you're like, great, wonderful. And then say for example you go back to adhesive, and then you read the question and it says, oh my gosh, it says to print hello 5 times, but the hello has a period at the end. So now you have to go back and change all 5 hellos, and you're like, okay, period, one more, another one, and another one. And at this point you should be saying to yourself, there has got to be an easier way. So I've changed all 5 of them, and now it's going to print all 5. But that required me a lot of work. It required a lot of copy and pasting. It required a lot of like clicking. And well, to be honest, in the real world this doesn't work. Like, what if I have to print something 1,000 times? Like, what poor engineer would want to go back to 1,000 lines of code and change the same thing over and over again? And that's why in computer science we have loops, because loops helps us get rid of all that typing, and we can write this in a very short number of lines. So I'm going to delete all this. I don't want this, and I'm going to talk about loops. So there are 2 types of loops. The first one that we're going to learn in this class is called while loops. So the basic structure looks like this, where you have a while, you put your condition in here, and then you open up with curly brackets, and then you close with curly brackets. Notice right now I'm just going to put in the open and close. That way you would never forget how many open and how many close you need. Now what happens inside is here. Okay, so what I want, the things that I want repeated goes inside here. So if I wanted to say hello 5 times, then I want to put this system.out in here. But there's a couple more things. So this condition right here is the condition that tells me whether or not I want to keep repeating. So if this condition is true, that means I go inside and I do whatever's inside, and I come back. If the condition is still true, I keep doing it until the condition is false. So the most common way to do this, at least with math examples, not so much with real life examples, but for math for now, we have a counter. So I'm going to create a counter, which is going to be an integer. I'm going to start at 0. And then say I want to say hi 5 times, then I would say counter is less than 5. And then print out 5 times. But remember, this keeps going until it's false. So that means inside, every time I print hello, let's go ahead and move the counter up once. So I can say counter is equal to counter plus 1, which increases counter by 1 each time I run the loop. Now what's another way to write this? Because we use this so much, we can also rewrite this as plus plus. So let's run it, see if it works. Oh wait, let me delete this first. There you go. Okay, so remember you have your while keyword, you have your condition in parentheses, you have your opening bracket and your closing bracket. And let me run it one more time. And inside my while loop, I'm going to do this 5 times. I'm going to print out hello, and I'm going to increase it by 1 each time. Look, it says hello, 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 hello. Great, it said it 5 times. Okay, So just as a way of making sure we understand how the while loop and how the counter works, I'm actually going to print out counter here. And then we'll follow it line by line. So if I print out counter here, let's just go ahead and see what happens. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can make sense of what Java outputs here in relation to our code. So when Java comes in and it starts out here, this is a comment, so it doesn't do anything. It's going to come here to line 10, and line 10 says I'm going to create a variable counter with an integer 0 inside. Integer 0. Okay, so right now here counter is equal to 0. And then it's going to go to the next line and say, okay, I see a while loop. I know I'm probably going to do something multiple times, but I always need to check the condition. So right now, is my condition true? Is counter less than 5? Well, what is inside my counter? What's inside my counter is the variable 0. So that means, is 0 less than 5? Is that true? Yes, that is true. Therefore, I can go inside. So right now, my counter is equal to 0. Okay. So once I'm inside, this is a comment, it doesn't do anything. It comes to line 13 and it says print out counter. And what is my counter equal to? My counter is equal to 0. Sounds good. So it's going to print out 0, and that was the first 0 here. And then it comes over to the next line and it print hello, and that's my first hello there. Okay, and then this line right here, counter plus plus, this takes my counter and adds 1 to it. So now counter is equal to 1. So counter is equal to 1. Okay. Maybe, okay, so counter is equal to 1, and then I come back up, and I say is counter less than 5? Is this condition true? Well, now I'm not comparing 0 less than 5, I'm comparing 1 less than 5. Is it true? It is still true, which means I go inside and I do the stuff inside one more time. So I print out counter here, and as you notice, counter right now is equal to 1, so that's where the 1 comes in from. And then next line you print out hello, and that's where the second hello is. And then it's going to go down to counter, and it's going to add 1 to it, so now counter is equal to 2. And because of this closed bracket here, it knows to go all the way back to the top to this open bracket here, and then check that condition one more time. So this condition here, counter less than 5, was 2 less than 5. Yes, it is true, so that means I go inside again. At this point, counter is equal to 2, so I print out 2, and then I print out hello. And then I come to this line, counter plus plus, which is equal to now 3. Okay, now I come back up. Is this statement true? Well, counter is equal to 3. So is 3 less than 5? That is true. So I go here and I print out counter 3 and print out hello one more time. As you can see, this is getting very tedious, but that's why the computer is doing it for you. And then we come to this line here and it says counter increase it by 1. Increase it by 1, done. Counter is equal to 4 now. Now it's going to come up here and counter is less than 5. Is that true or is that false? It is still true. So you go in and then you print out the counter, which is 4. You print out hello. And then you get to this line here, which increases counter by 5. Okay. So now, because the counter is equal to 5, when I come up to this condition, this is where it becomes interesting. Because is 5 less than true? I mean, is 5 less than 5? No. So now this condition is false. So the 5th time around this year, my 5 is less than 5. That is not true. This is false. So that means I don't do the stuff inside. Java's going to go look for that curly bracket. It found it here, and it's going to continue here. It's going to continue here. Okay. So with that, a question that people might ask is, well, what is my counter at this time, right? Is my counter equal to 4 or is it equal to 5? And because we ran through this many times, you know that counter is 5. And sometimes that's tricky because writing this out on paper really helps you to see what the code is doing. So I'm going to run it just to see whether or not we print out that last counter variable, which is equal to 5. Okay, as you can see, it is running here. It printed out 0, hello, 1, hello, 2, hello, just like before. And lastly, it printed out the variable 5. So we know we made it out here. And notice, because the counter is defined out here, we can still see the counter. Okay. So in this video, we talked about just how loops work. So Make sure you create a counter. Your counter needs to be incremented or this will forever go on, which would be bad. And then you keep doing the stuff inside until this condition is not true anymore, and that's when you come out of the while loop and then you continue after it. Okay, so that is the end of this video, which talks about while loops. In the next video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about other things that you need to be careful of when you're using while loops.